Yo! What's up? It's me, again. I'm recording this directly after that first video I just did. I had a lot of fun making that last one, and I figured, you know what? I'm gonna come back. And if you didn't want me to come back, too bad, because I came back. That video has one single view right now. You know, it's one person, you know, a person. Like, you don't really notice, you know, all you see is, like, numbers behind, like, the video, but you don't really see the, you know, all the people behind those numbers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you'll see a video, 100 million views, you're like, okay, yeah, but, like, that's a big chunk of the planet right there. Like, you don't consider that, you know? Like, that one video I got on my view, oh my god, that one what? That one, that... that one view I got on my video, it's crazy to think that's a person willingly clicked on that video, and that person was me. But still, my point stands, you know. I was going down on some leftover Wingstop and drank like a quarter gallon of Arizona iced tea right before recording this, and what's it called? I was thinking, like, you know, maybe I should not make a script per se, but just like write like on like a sticky note or something, just a couple points to hit, you know. But I ended up getting distracted. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I ended up getting distracted. I never wrote that list. But you know what? Talking about, you know, YouTube, I think that's... Sit down real quick. I think that's a good point to hit. What's it called? Like, you can't really put a face behind the numbers after a certain point. Remember, I've had several YouTube channels, one of which being at, like, I think 730 subscribers. And you hear that, you're like, yeah, okay. Because you compare it to other people who have, like, way more, but, like, those are people, you know? Like, those are people who clicked on that subscribe button on purpose, you know? Clicked on it because they like what I do, clicked on it because they like listening to the music I would make. And, like, yeah, it's people. Like, you don't... Like, it's hard to explain. Like, it's... Like, I feel like in today's, you know, like, age where internet is everything, and, you know, like, numbers and clicks and views is the thing that matters most to people. Like, it's, you know, I feel like it's important that we still understand the, like, face behind the numbers, you know? Like, it's not just... Like, it's not, like, yeah, it's the internet, but, like, yeah, it's still real people, you know, and still to this day. Like, I had that, like, realization when I hit 100 subscribers. I was thinking, like, wow, that's 100 people who like what I do. And it's amazing, it's crazy, you know? And thinking about it, I would say maybe only one or two of those people were people I know in real life. You know, actual, like, real life friends, or potentially, like, even friends of friends who, like, you know, heard about my content through, you know, just word of mouth. And it's like, how do I explain it? It's difficult to explain, you know. It's, how do I put this? Let me try to... Okay, well, good to go. Okay, that's good, actually, because I don't have to focus as hard now. But it's, you know, it's interesting, you know, the fact that, you know, in, like, today's age, you can reach so many millions upon millions of people with just, you know, sharing what you like to do. And I feel like, to me, that's really important, because, you know, growing up with the, like, conditions that I had, I never really got the chance to socialize like a lot of other kids. You know, I mainly spent most of my time just indoors, because, like, what's it called? To reveal a little bit about me. As a young kid, I was in the hospital, in and out, almost constantly, because I had extremely bad allergies. Couldn't even leave the house pretty much, when there was like pollen out. It was horrible, and it like really affected, socializing. So pretty much, like, that mixed with like a family who was like often busy, it was pretty much like, not to say they didn't do anything for me, but like I feel like YouTube did like a big part in raising me. And yeah, a lot of that was like watching like Minecraft YouTubers. Yeah, like watching Minecraft YouTubers, watching, my fellow human beings share their passion online. And, they'd make money off of it, that would be their job, or they wouldn't be, big enough to make money from it and use that as a job, but rather they just have that on the side as like, like another like stream of income, just to make sure that they're, good financially. Or even some people I've seen who are small and like they don't care for the money really, and I think that's really cool that some people like to entertain just for the sake of entertainment. I think it's great. It's fun, it's cool. And it's like branching off of that even more. I remember like as a little kid I would love to watch people play video games and talk over it, or even just watch people play video games. Remember, who was it? It was Dan TDM, I think, that had really gotten me into the idea of content creation. And for the vast majority of my life, I've never done anything at all to pursue content creation. I remember, what year was it? I'm trying to think. I remember I was very young. I was still a little homunculus at this time, being socially awkward, struggling to talk to people, and like, how do I put this? It's like I wanted to make content for a very long time, and I feel like now that I'm actually kind of getting to making content, it feels weird. Like this is, like all my life, this has been available. I could have been making content from, when I was like 5 years old. I could have been making content from when I was like 7, or when I was like 11 or 10. It's been available for all my life. It's always been there. I've always been able to do it. It's just I never really gotten the chance, or I guess kind of worked up the courage to talk while the cameras are on, like, so to speak. So like it's interesting now that I'm doing it, and I think it's good that I'm getting much more used to speaking. The last video I posted, the full recording was I think 56.5 minutes long. Yeah, it was pretty much just me talking about random stuff, mumbling, stuttering for like the first probably almost 45 minutes. And towards the end of it, where I started covering, the topic of fun and why I think it's still very important that we keep, having fun in games. That's what they're for. They're here, for fun. They're here to make, to make you happy. They're here to get you through tough times. Here to help you, calm down in some cases, like more relaxing games. And it's like, I think it's important we don't forget, the purpose of them. Like, yeah, you can make money off of games. Yeah, you can make content. Yeah, you can make friends. Yeah, you can win, As I mentioned in the last video, you'll see numbers get bigger and bigger, but I feel like after a certain point of prioritizing stuff like that for so long, it just becomes more of a job than anything, which is, like, it sucks. It's unfortunate to see something that, I like cared for so long become something that like people despise. And I remember a lot, especially I want to say, I think, yeah, early on in middle school, that was just my go-to way to socialize, because everyone at that age, no one has responsibilities, no one for the most part really has a life, and like how do I put this, like I don't know, I really didn't know any other way to talk to people. I didn't really have any like mainstream interests like sports or anything like that. So I couldn't really walk up to people and be like, hey, did you see the game last night? Because like at my schools specifically, there was like there was kids who enjoyed sports, but for the most part, it was just like nerdy kids who like, you know, kind of kept to themselves. So, yeah, for most of my life, pretty much it was like that was just my friend group, pretty much just the outcasts, the people who didn't fit into any other like common school archetype. So yeah, it was pretty much just like me. Actually, thinking about it, I never really had too many interests other than video games that were like more mainstream. And yeah, I feel like that did affect me a lot in the way I did socialize, because I was never really able to make small talk as well, and any like conversation really had to be kind of like forced upon me, you know. And like how do I put this? It's like it's been difficult, you know. And in recent months to like the recent year, I'd say my life has changed a lot. And yeah, like that's not just gonna work anymore. That won't really fly like it used to, just talking about video games, because most of the people I'm around aren't really people that are like my age. Most people I'm around recently has just been, you know, adults, and for the most part adults don't really like play, you know, video games. So like it's interesting because like I can't really what's it called? I can't really make friends, you know, with similar interests to me who have like similar priorities, because believe it or not, despite how I'm playing this game, video games really aren't on my list of priorities. Like not even school really is on my list of priorities, but more it's just like one of a few things, either making a difference, making sure like I'm enjoying life, because that's what it's here for, you know. That's why people live, and that's why I feel like it makes it sad, especially when people are unhappy often. It sucks to see, because, you know, I feel like everybody from a young age is happy for the most part. You know, in an average household, a kid that's young, you know, maybe toddler, babies especially. Babies are constantly happy, constantly smiling. You can tell them the worst news in the entire world, but if you're smiling, they'll laugh along with it. And I feel like that's, like, it's interesting, because, like, they don't understand stuff like people older than them do, if that makes sense. You know, they don't understand the weight of words, they don't understand the severity of issues in the world, and I feel like as a result of that, it's like they, you know, they live what naturally, like what people are supposed to live like, you know, like just like a mind that's just like that hasn't been, you know, messed up with how people are. And it's interesting to see, you know, because like, yeah, how to explain it? It's difficult to put this in words that would even like make sense. Damn. I'm really at a loss here, actually, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's... not sure if I should cut this out or not. Just leave the like footage as raw as possible. Like I don't know. Pretty much what the point I'm trying to get at: be happy. People should be happy. You know. And if someone isn't happy, it's unfortunate to see, but, you know, look for reasons to be happy. You know, don't really be, like, pessimistic. You know, there's always an upside to something. Everything happens for a reason. You know, like, even if it doesn't seem like there was a reason for something to happen, you know, you could take it as, like, a lesson learned, you know? And I feel like that's a lot how, personally, I've been thinking lately. And it's interesting because I've always had to I guess, kind of put up with like things happening that that shouldn't have happened in my life, to a point where now that stuff is kind of settled down. It's weird. Like I don't know really what to like do with myself, you know? Um facing, issues, especially socially. I feel like a lot of it arise from like young childhood, not really being able to socialize like other kids were able to. I feel like that did a lot of damage on like how I would how I would like live for like the longest time. And I don't know, like it's hard to like describe. Like it's like I don't know, like for most of my life, because I never really had too many friends, the main conversations I would have, most socializing, was like with teachers and school counselors. So I feel like because of that, because I would spend more of my time around people who were older than me than people who were around my age, I feel like that mentally kind of like matured me in a way. Like even like now, looking at people who were around my age, give or take a year or two, like their priorities are like mostly social. Like a lot of people prioritizing social media, a lot of people prioritizing, what they look like, prioritizing if, people will like who they are. And it's weird because I feel like, going back to what I was saying with like toddlers, how they're always happy, I feel like that is like rare to see. People still have almost that type of, not really, like I feel, yeah, like as time goes on, a person gets older, they will, they won't be oblivious to everything that's going on around them. They'll know bad stuff happens. They'll know that, stuff like it sucks sometimes. Like they'll know that. But like how do I put this? Like it's, and I feel like it takes like a very specific mindset to have already lost that like innocent view on the world, but have it not really change, who they are or how they think. Because I can't remember if I've covered this already, but for a very long time in my life, probably most of my middle school years and like halfway through elementary school, I was very pessimistic, and I was just like sad, like I didn't really know like what to do. And I feel like as that kind of went away and I was feeling like much more like neutral, like not good nor bad, early on in middle school, I feel like I had a pretty big friend group, and it was doing good. But then I kind of realized those people around me really didn't have the same priorities. A lot of it was, social stuff, or stuff relating to like, oh, like what if like this person, like what if this, group of friends doesn't like me, type of thing. Like caring too much what other people think. Like I think it's good to care to a certain extent of what people think on you, because by getting, other opinions like that, you can see, like it's kind of like, yeah, I feel like in a way it's almost like having a mirror held up to you, because you see yourself, like the way you look at yourself, the way you see yourself in the mirror, it's nothing like other people see you. It might be similar, but for the most part, it's completely different, because you understand you more than other people do. And it's like, I don't know, it's like, it's gonna sound strange to say, and it's gonna sound, messed up, and like depending on what context you think of this in first, but nothing really matters, if that makes sense. Like, just hear me out here. Don't, like, freak out and think, like, I'm trying to say something horrible. Like, it's difficult to put it in a way that doesn't sound, like, super grim.